So today we're going to address the question of, can you freelance with no experience? So there's a few little nuances to this question, but essentially I believe no. Now, to become a good freelancer, to actually offer value to your clients, you have to have had some experience in the skill, the service you're going to deliver. Now, there are various ways, this is the nuance here, of how to gain that experience. But ultimately, you do need some experience because particularly if you want to sort of grow and become a successful freelancer and have a good reputation, of course, you're going to have some good experience to be able to bring to the table, and then you offer value, and then you can get lots of other benefits then about delivering good work. So you have better client relations, you can charge higher rates, you'll get word of mouth referrals, etc. So there's so much benefit to going freelance once you have some experience to back up what you're actually selling and pitching to clients. Now, in terms of how you can gain that experience, the standard model, and to be honest with you, probably my preferred model, is to go and work for someone else. Now, I prefer to work for small businesses, or certainly I advise people to work for small businesses, startups, teams of less than 15 or 20. The reason for that is you'll get so much exposure and insight into how the business is run. Because it's a small team and everyone has to muck in, you'll be working across different tasks. You may be engaging with different clients. You'll be learning so many skills in that period. I think depending on the rate of progression, around 2 years is an ideal time to do that. And you may want to go and work in 2 or 3 different organizations to try and learn how they operate and widen your experience as well. So let's say you're a graphic designer, you might work for a small agency, then you might go and work client side on a project, and maybe then a different client side in a B2B and B2C, and really just test and learn all these things, because then you'll find out what you enjoy, what you're best at, and you'll be honing your skill whilst being paid throughout that period as well. So for me, that's the perfect way to build the experience you need to go freelance. Now, saying that, I do know people who have never, ever been employed and have started out by going freelance, maybe out of university or out of education. Now, there's a different type of experience there. It's not that they don't have it, it's that maybe they had some work experience, or they worked on particular projects throughout their education where they were getting experience. Maybe they were doing it as a hobby in the evenings and weekends, and let's say, for example, it's web design or development, and they were coding, etc. And they're creating projects for themselves. That is in itself is building up a bank of experience. The thing that can sometimes be missing there is the client relations part, that you're not engaging, you're not being paid for that work. So there can be some difficulties in certain soft skills that you may need as a freelancer, but of course you can learn and develop them as you go. And not every employment opportunity is going to give you those, particularly if you work in corporate. And again, that's why I prefer the small business startup model, because you'll get better exposure to some of those soft skills that you need to develop as a freelancer. But in essence, can you start freelancing without experience? I believe absolutely not. You're getting off to a really bad start there. You're not going to be offering the value add that you should be to have win-win client relationships, and that's going to lead to a whole load of problems down the track. So go and find what your skill is, what your talent is, what you're interested in, and spend some time either creating projects of your own, offering to do some work experience for friends, for your network, etc., or ideally going and get some employment. And I know it can seem that takes some time, and if anyone knows, when I was young, I was super, super impatient about these things as well. And sometimes you offer better advice than you actually adhere to. And I wish I had done the model that I've just explained in terms of gaining some of that experience. I would have been in a much better place when I started out freelancing. But I hope that gives you some ideas of what experience you need to get going. As always, throw any thoughts, comments in the comments below, and I'll be happy to address those, and any questions we can follow up with some relevant videos as well.